Where's Meghan Markle's mom? If you're not going to bring your man, at least let your mom feel glam. Her running around town alone her, and she's running out of friends. But Harry has become the spare in his own marriage. And
the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show ignited a cultural firestorm this year, not just for its music, but for what it revealed about political and social divides in America's biggest sporting event. Puerto Rican artist Bad Bunny, a global superstar whose music blends Latin trap and reggaeton, headlined the official NFL halftime performance at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, drawing both applause and intense backlash. Bad Bunny's show, notable for being performed primarily in Spanish and celebrating Latino culture, sparked criticism from conservative figures and commentators. Former U.S. President Donald Trump took to his social media platform, Truth Social, dismissing the performance as absolutely terrible and a slap in the face to America, arguing that lyrics in a language many Americans don't understand were inappropriate for such a national moment. As political and cultural tensions grew, millions of viewers opted to skip the official broadcast altogether, choosing instead to tune in to an alternative halftime show organized by the conservative group Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show featured country and patriotic performers such as Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, streamed live on YouTube as a counter-programming event designed to appeal to audiences who felt alienated by Bad Bunny's performance. The group, founded by late conservative activist Charlie Kirk, described the event as a celebration of faith, family, and freedom, providing viewers with what it described as a more traditional American entertainment alternative during the Super Bowl. According to streaming data, the alternative show drew sizable live viewership, with peak counts estimated at between 5.7 million and 6.2 million concurrent YouTube viewers. By comparison, the official Super Bowl halftime show historically attracts over 100 million viewers, and Bad Bunny's performance is projected to draw around 128 million. Potentially one of the most watched halftime shows in history. The viewer split reflects more than just musical preference. It highlights deep cultural and political divides in the United States. Critics of Bad Bunny's performance argued that Spanish language, music, and politically charged moments, including implicit support for immigrant communities, were out of step with what they believe the Super Bowl halftime should represent. Supporters, however, saw the show as a celebration of diversity and inclusion on one of America's largest stages, underscoring the shifting demographics and cultural landscape of the country. Social media platforms became battlegrounds for these contrasting reactions. Some influencers who publicly turned off the Bad Bunny performance in favor of the Turning Point show faced swift backlash and lost followers, while others praised the alternative stream as a refreshing change from what they saw as political messaging during a sports broadcast. On X, comments ranged from enthusiastic support of the conservative program to sharp rebukes of those who dismissed the official halftime show, highlighting how entertainment, politics, and identity have become deeply intertwined in modern pop culture. Despite the controversy, Bad Bunny's halftime performance also made headlines for unexpected developments, such as the artist's decision to delete all previous Instagram posts following the show, a move that sparked speculation about his next career steps or a response to the polarized reaction. Analysts warn that this episode may signal a new era for the Super Bowl halftime show, one where viewer expectations are shaped not only by music and spectacle but also by broader cultural and political allegiances. Whether the NFL sought unity or simply a historic performance, the weekend's events suggest that halftime entertainment in America can no longer be separated from the society it reflects. Part 3, approximately 650 words, deep dive, Turning Point USA's alternative halftime show lineup, politics, audience, and media react. 2026 Super Bowl not only delivered thrilling gridiron drama but also an unexpected media subplot. A competitive alternative halftime show streamed by conservative advocacy group Turning Point USA. What began as a counter-programming idea quickly became one of the most talked about side stories of the weekend, drawing millions of online viewers and sparking a broader conversation about culture, entertainment, and political identity. A lineup designed to appeal to a different audience. Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show was intentionally crafted as a patriotic and family-friendly alternative to the NFL's official halftime performance. Headlined by Bad Bunny, the lineup featured a mix of country, rock, and Americana musicians with strong ties to mainstreamus listeners, including Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. Kid Rock, the headliner, is a longtime figure in American rock and country-influenced music, known for blending genres and for his outspoken political persona. Brantley Gilbert, another well-established country artist, brought songs like Dirt Road Anthem and real American material that resonates with rural and conservative audiences. Lee Brice and Gabby Barrett rounded out the set with tracks that drew on mainstream country sensibilities, including Barrett's hit, I Hope. The event was framed by organizers as a celebration of faith, family, and freedom, with clear emphasis on themes some viewers felt were absent from the official NFL halftime show. Streaming strategy and technical hurdles by the NFL's televised halftime spectacle on NBC and Peacock, which draws a global television audience. Turning point. USA's version was streamed primarily online. Licensing restrictions prevented the show from airing on X, formerly Twitter, pushing organizers to focus on YouTube as the main platform, with simulcasts or clips also shared on Rumble, Daily Wire Plus, and other conservative-aligned networks. Despite these limitations, the livestream drew significant attention. According to available analytics, the All-American halftime show peaked at approximately 6.1 million concurrent viewers on YouTube alone, with additional viewers on affiliate channels bringing the total live audience to over 6 million during the halftime window. While that figure remains a fraction of the NFL's usual 100+ million television audience, it represents a notable online footprint for counter-programming and suggests that a segment of the Super Bowl audience was actively searching for alternatives. Audience sentiment and commentary reactions were mixed but passionate. Supporters took to YouTube comments and social platforms to praise the alternative show's themes and performances, celebrating what they saw as music aligned with American traditions and values. Comments such as "This is what should be on the field right now," and "It was truly awesome," and patriotic appeared across threads reporting the event online. At the same time, not all responses were positive. Some critics questioned the quality of the performances, especially focusing on reports that Kid Rock appeared to lip-sync parts of his set, leading to mocking reactions on social media. Others pointed out that the alternative show's viewership, though million-strong online, was still a small fraction of the NFL halftime audience, a reminder of the scale difference between traditional broadcast television and digital streaming. Political figures weighed in as well. Conservative commentators and TV hosts highlighted the event as a true all-American experience, while some skeptics, even within conservative circles, questioned whether organizing rival halftime entertainment contributed to deeper cultural divides in an already polarized atmosphere. Wider media coverage and interpretation coverage of the Turning Point USA show emphasized its role as both cultural commentary and political messaging. Outlets like Fox News covered the event as a response to backlash against Bad Bunny's performance, noting that many fans and public figures were drawn to an alternative that felt more in line with their values. However, broader media also pointed out the spectacle's limitations. Critics noted that while streaming platforms made it possible for niche audiences to gather large online viewerships, the overall influence remains constrained compared with mass broadcast events, casting the event as a standalone cultural moment rather than a shift in halftime culture. Some analysts called the alternative show a reflection of ongoing fragmentation in how different audiences choose their entertainment. Cultural and political context. Creation of an alternate halftime program underscores the intersection of entertainment and political identity in 2026. With debates over cultural representation, language, and national values already underway, Turning Point USA's show became more than just a musical alternative. It represented a coordinated cultural response that resonated with a notable segment of the country's media. Consumers. As streaming platforms continue to evolve and audiences fragment, events like the All-American halftime show may foreshadow a future where multifaceted broadcasts cater to distinct cultural communities, even during what has traditionally been unifying national moments like the Super Bowl. What began as an offhand remark about tattoos soon spiraled into one of the weekend's most widely discussed celebrity storylines, the unfolding drama within the Beckham family. While the Super Bowl and political debates grabbed headlines, observers online couldn't help but notice social media chatter about new ink worn by Romeo and Brooklyn, Beckham family members of one of the world's most famous sporting dynasties. The story took shape when Romeo Beckham, youngest son of David and Victoria Beckham, debuted a large new tattoo across the back of his neck. Almost simultaneously, older brother Brooklyn Beckham appeared with fresh ink on his finger, which, in some public photographs, seemed to cover an earlier tattoo featuring the names of his siblings, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper. This choice immediately caught attention and raised questions about sibling relationships and personal expression within a family constantly in the public eye. For fans and commentators alike, the image of a sibling name replaced or covered up naturally fueled speculation. In celebrity culture, tattoos are often seen as highly personal markers, symbols of identity, loyalty, memory, or significant life moments. When a name is added, it often signifies a close bond. When it is removed or altered, it opens the door to interpretation. The reaction online, particularly on social platforms, where fan communities converge, was swift and multifaceted. Some users expressed concern, interpreting Brooklyn's covered-up sibling names as a sign of familial tension. Others suggested the design changes were purely cosmetic or artistic, a young person's evolving aesthetic rather than a statement. In between these interpretations, humorous comparisons began circulating. One commentary took hold widely: the Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton energy analogy. That comparison refers to a well-known Hollywood moment from the 1990s when actors Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton, while in a high-profile romantic relationship, famously wore each other's blood in vials around their necks. The imagery became an enduring pop culture reference point, equal parts romantic symbolism and eccentric celebrity behavior. In invoking that parallel, social media users were both poking fun and highlighting how public fascination often transforms personal style into broader narrative fodder. The analogy, therefore, served two purposes. It poked fun at the seemingly dramatic symbolism of tattoos covering sibling names, and it reflected a broader cultural pattern where audiences latch onto imagery that implies emotional subtext, nuance, or symbolic tension. Celebrity families like the Beckhams are no strangers to this kind of scrutiny. From early in their marriage, David and Victoria Beckham cultivated an image of unity and mutual support, both in sports and fashion worlds. Their children, Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper, have grown up under constant media observation, with every milestone, Instagram post, or public appearance serving as material for commentary about family dynamics. Tattoos, in particular, have become one of the avenues through which celebrity children express individuality while also inviting public interpretation. Beckham Tattoo Saga also highlights the complex intersection between personal expression and public perception. In an era where celebrities share their lives on social media, what might have been a private aesthetic choice decades ago is now a public topic of analysis. A tattoo that covers up a sibling name becomes more than body art; it becomes a symbol whose meaning is wrestled with in comment threads, TikTok reactions, and headline news pieces. Media outlets covering the story tended to segment along familiar lines. Entertainment news sites and fan blogs tended to frame the developments as lighthearted curiosity. Beckham brothers' new tattoos spark online buzz, while tabloid and social commentary pages leaned into more interpretive narratives about family estrangement, changing relationships, or the pressures of growing up in the spotlight. Sociologists and cultural commentators note that this kind of attention is not unique to the Beckham. Other families whose private lives overlap with public careers, from Hollywood households to music dynasties, often find mundane personal decisions amplified into symbolic storytelling. When siblings or partners alter tattoos, social media audiences may ascribe meaning that the individuals themselves never intended. Additionally, the metaphorical tie-in with Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton is emblematic of how celebrity symbols persist. That specific comparison works not because the two stories are truly similar in context, but because both involve symbolic body art, emotional sparking imagery, and celebrity intimacy, all elements that online culture loves to remix and reframe. Ultimately, the Beckham tattoo discussion reveals as much about society's hunger for narrative as it does about the Beckham family's own choices. Whether Brooklyn wanted to update his body art for personal reasons or whether Romeo's neckpiece commemorates a new chapter in his life, online reactions show how easily personal expression becomes public conversation in the digital age. In a media environment where images quickly become memes and speculation spreads faster than confirmation, celebrities and their families often confront an odd paradox. The more personal their choices, the more public the interpretation, even when no intent for drama exists at all. That as the dust settles on this whirlwind of celebrity and media drama, one thing becomes clear: in 2026, the intersection of entertainment, politics, and social media has never been more potent. The Super Bowl halftime controversy, Meghan Markle's high-profile appearances, and the Beckham family tattoo saga are not isolated incidents. They are all reflections of how public perception is shaped, amplified, and monetized in today's hyper-connected world. Take the Super Bowl halftime split. On one hand, Bad Bunny delivered a politically charged, Spanish-language performance that polarized audiences. On the other, Turning Point USA's alternative show, featuring Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, drew 6.1 million live viewers on YouTube alone. That massive streaming audience illustrates how viewers now actively choose content aligned with personal beliefs, bypassing traditional TV broadcasts in favor of niche, ideologically compatible experiences. The public's reaction, tweets, memes, and viral clips demonstrates the social media ecosystem's ability to amplify controversy, giving every performance a political dimension, whether intended or not. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle's continued visibility reminds us that celebrity influence is increasingly entwined with media strategy. From her solo appearances on the red carpet to meticulously curated public events, Meghan's presence commands attention and fuels discussion. Critics and supporters alike dissect every outfit, gesture, and interaction, revealing society's fascination with status, image, and narrative control. Social media further magnifies her choices, transforming private moments into public spectacle and turning perception into a key measure of influence. Then there's the Beckham family saga, which adds another layer to this evolving narrative. Romeo and Brooklyn Beckham's tattoos, particularly Brooklyn's decision to cover up sibling names, sparked conversation about family dynamics, personal expression, and celebrity privilege. Observers drew comparisons to Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton's infamous blood vial phase, highlighting the enduring appeal of unusual symbols and performative gestures in celebrity culture. Beyond humor, these stories illuminate the pressure on public figures to navigate personal identity while under constant scrutiny, a challenge magnified by the viral, analytical nature of online commentary. What unites these events is the role of media in shaping perception. Every Super Bowl tweet, Meghan photo, and Beckham's Instagram post is curated, circulated, and interpreted through countless lenses: political, cultural, aesthetic, and moral. Social media acts as both magnifying glass and amplifier, ensuring that even minor choices are read as statements and that audiences feel compelled to respond, critique, and share. Looking forward, this trend is unlikely to reverse. Public engagement with celebrity culture will remain heavily mediated, with narratives crafted for attention, clicks, and conversation. Political undertones will continue to color entertainment events, personal fashion choices will fuel commentary, and family dramas in high-profile households will inevitably spark viral discourse. These dynamics underscore a broader truth: in a world where visibility equates to influence, perception often becomes reality, whether fair or not. In the end, the Super Bowl's ideological divide, Meghan Markle's strategic appearances, and the Beckham family tattoo drama are part of a larger, interconnected story about modern celebrity. They reveal how entertainment, politics, and personal expression intersect in public spaces, and how social media magnifies every gesture into cultural commentary. For audiences, the takeaway is clear: we live in an era where choice, attention, and interpretation are currency, and where every public figure, athlete, musician, or royal must navigate a landscape shaped as much by perception as by action. These stories are entertaining, yes, but they also invite reflection. In a culture that thrives on spectacle, how do we separate image from reality? And in a world where influence is instantaneous, whose narratives do we amplify, and why? As fans, followers, and citizens of the digital age, these are questions worth asking as we scroll, stream, and click our way through the drama of modern celebrity.